nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me this morning for our full body live. Today is a no equipment routine. We're going to stretch, we're going to engage our core, and then we're going to move into some mobility exercises and work our glutes, our thighs, and our upper body muscles. So this is a really comprehensive workout. You don't need any equipment. However, if you do want to step up the intensity for some of the moves, you can throw on a set of ankle weights. But I promise without the weights, you're still going to feel the work and get great results. So let's go ahead and get right into our warm up. So we're going to come into a kneeling or a standing position on the mat. If you're standing, you want your feet hip distance apart. We're going to start off by really lengthening through the spine. So stacking the vertebrae, one on top of the other, sitting up or standing up really nice and tall, melting the shoulders down. Imagine a piece of string pulling the crown of your head up toward the ceiling. So finding that really nice lengthened posture. Then we're going to take the hands out in front or on the thighs if you're kneeling. We're going to sweep one arm back, looking out over the shoulder and bring it down. Sweep the opposite arm back, looking out over the shoulder, stretching through the neck, and then bring both arms back, nice big circle, and bring the hands back to the knees. Repeat. So we're circling back on one side, stretch and lengthen, rotating around the spine, circling back on the opposite side. Nicely done. And then bring those arms up and around. Good. One and two. Breathing out to stretch back. Inhale to center and exhale to circle both arms back. Nicely done. Last set. And pull back. Good. Find length through the spine, open through the chest as you circle those arms down and back. Amazing. Now I'd like you to bring yourself into an all fours position on the mat, and we're going to get into our Pilates breath work. So position your wrists so they're below the shoulders, knees below the hips. We're going to inhale in through the nose, letting the belly slightly relax. And then as we exhale, we want to draw that navel up toward the spine, holding it in through the entire exhale. So inhale, relax the belly. And exhale, vacuum that belly button up toward the spine. Good. Inhale, relax the belly. Exhale through pursed lips, drawing the navel tightly in toward the spine. Nice work. Now your aim here is to try, inhale, and keep your belly button contracted the entire time you exhale. Good. Inhale, release. Exhale, draw your navel in. Nice work. Inhale, release. And exhale, vacuum your belly button up towards your spine. Good. Hold it there for 3, 2, and 1. Amazing work. Take your knees nice and wide here. Walk your hands a little bit further out in front. Stretch back into a child's pose, lengthening through the spine. Now bend your elbows, hover your chest above the mat, and start to arch your spine as you come up, straightening the arms. Good. Now round the spine, rippling back, sitting back onto those heels. Good. Inhale, arch your spine, move down the mat, and exhale, round your spine, and sit back on those heels. Good. Inhale to arch. Gaze comes up. Exhale, tuck the chin around the spine. Amazing work. Inhaling. Getting into that Pilates breath work and mobilizing the spine here for 3 and 2. Amazing work. And last 1. And ripple back, stretching and lengthening through the spine. Nicely done. Okay, from here, we're going to come back into our all fours position. We're going to drop down onto the left forearm, and we're going to mobilize this right hip by bringing the right knee up and circling it forward. Good. Nice big circles, stretching and lengthening into the hip area. Good. And now reverse direction of those circles, circling back. For 4, get that knee up, circle it down, back and around. Good. And last one, and lower the knee down. We're going to switch sides, mobilizing the left knee, coming down onto right forearm, picking left knee up, and circling it forward. Good. Nice big circles, slow and easy, working through any tight areas in the hip. And now we're going to pause and circle back. Keep that neck long, shoulders down away from the ears. As you lift that knee up, around and back. Let's do one more. Lift that knee up and lower it down. Amazing work. Now from here, we're going to move into our upper body portion of the workout. So we're going to start off from a high plank position, and we're going to break up this plank work with some downward dog stretches to ease into some of the tough work. Okay, so we're stepping back, right leg, left leg, coming into a high plank. From here, I'd like you to really broaden across your shoulders, lift through your abdominal wall. We're going to pike back into a downward dog, stretching and lengthening through the back body, lifting those hips up nice and high. Now we're shooting forward into our high plank once again. We're bringing the right knee in. We're bringing the left knee in. Then we're bringing right knee to right elbow, bringing left knee to left elbow, and piking back into that downward dog, flattening out the upper back here. Shoot forward into your plank, knee in, opposite knee in, right knee to right elbow, left knee to left elbow, and pike back into your stretch. Good, come forward. Nice flat line with the body. 1, 2, knee to elbow, knee to elbow. You're doing great. Stretch it back. Enjoy that stretch and lengthening between each repetition. 1, 2, knee to elbow, and stretch and lengthen back. Good. We've got 3 more sets. 1, 2, 4, and stretch it back. Good work. 1, knee in, 2, knee in, knee to elbow, and pike back, stretching and lengthening, really warming up the body here. Good. Last set. Take the knees to the elbow, pike them, pike your hips up and back, coming into your downward dog for one final stretch here for 3. Lift your hips a bit higher, flatten out the upper back for 2. And final 1. You can ease your knees back down to the floor. Great work. Okay, from here we're going to go into some forearm taps. So setting ourselves up, we've got our knees below our hips. We're walking the hands out a little bit further in front of the shoulders. We want our wrists, elbows, and shoulders in alignment. The arms are parallel. We're drawing the navel in. Nice neutral spine. From here, we're going to lower the elbows so they're hovering above the floor. Pulse, pulse, and then straighten the arms. Good. Lower, pulse, pulse, tension in the backs of the arms, and lift. So you should feel this in the triceps. You want your neck nice and long. You want the weight in the heels of the hands. We're pulsing, pulse, pulse, and pressing up through the heels of the hands. Good. Keeping those shoulders down away from the ears, keeping the core engaged, and really focusing on the backs of the arms. Keep those arms parallel here. Pulse, pulse, and press up. Good. Amazing work. Pulse, pulse, and lift. Pulse, pulse, and lift. You're doing great. 1, 2, pressing up through the heels of the hands. Really focusing on those triceps, mind-muscle connection. Good. We've got 4. Amazing work. 3. Keep pressing up through the heels of the hands for 2. Forearms are parallel. And last 1. Pulse, pulse. We're going to hold here and pulse for 10, 9, 8. Keeping the tension on the backs of those arms. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo. Take those knees nice and wide, push back into a child's pose, stretching and lengthening for 3 and 2 and 1. Great, now we're gonna work the arms in isolation. We're going to come into sort of a side seated position. The lower body is stacked, hip stacked, knees stacked. I've got my left arm out to the side. Now take your time to set yourself up here. We want left wrist, elbow, and shoulder in alignment. Chest is nice and open here. You might need, depending on the length of your arm, to send your arm out a little bit or your hand out a little bit further. You can make adjustments when you start here. So what we're going to do is we're going to bend at the elbow, keeping the chest open, hover the elbow above the floor, and then again pushing up through the heel of the hand. So you want to feel this work in the back of the arm as you bend and lift. Again, if you need to move that hand a little closer to you or a little bit further away from you, make those adjustments as you go. It should feel quite challenging. Now, option, if you need a little bit of extra support, you can place your right fingertips down on the mat and just use those for a little bit of an extra bit of stability if you don't quite have the strength to push your whole body up from the heel of that hand there. So better that you have that support and you can still feel the work than that you're not able to do the move at all. Good. Amazing work. Lowering and pressing up. Lower, just hover that elbow and lift. We've got 5 and 4, keeping that chest nice and open for 3, 2, these are really challenging, especially after those forearm taps. And last 1, amazing work. Now we're lowering down, bringing the left forearm so it's parallel with the top of the mat, and we're going to work the lower body here as well. So we are, again, making sure the hips, knees, and ankles are stacked, toes are pointed, inside of the feet are glued together. We're gonna open up into 2 clamshells. Good, and then we're gonna lift up for 1. So an elevated clamshell. We've got 1, 2, lower hip down on the mat. 3, we lift and open, working that waistline as well. Good, 1, 2, and 3 to lift to open, belly to spine. Good, 1, 2, and lift that lower hip. Great work. 1, 2, lift it up. Good, stick with it. 1 and 2. Don't let that top hip roll back. You want to keep that top hip stacked on top of the lower hip the entire time when you're in those clamshells. Good. 1 and 2. You're doing great. Really focusing on that outer glute and thigh. And last one. And lift. Great work. Okay, let's do the opposite side now. So we're coming over onto the left hip. The right arm is extended, and we're taking our time to set ourselves up with really good form. Wrist, elbow, shoulder. And we're never turning the chest down to the mat. We're keeping it open. Hand can come on the hip or down on the mat for support with these. We're lowering and lifting. Take a couple reps to find that sweet spot where you can really feel the work in the arm. Good. Amazing. Push up through the heel of the hand, full extension of the arm. Plug in your belly button toward your spine so that your waist is nice and tight here too. Good. Keep that chest nice and open. You're doing so well. Lower and lift. Let's go 5 and 4, 3, press up for 2, and final 1. Amazing. Lower that right forearm down onto the floor. Bend those knees, bringing the heels toward the bum. We're coming into the double clamshell and lift, elevated. Good. 1, 2. Don't open so wide that that top hip rolls back. You want to really control this movement, keeping the inside of the feet glued together. Working into that waistline, working those glutes and thighs. Good. Also working that shoulder a little bit as you come up, supporting that body on the weight of that forearm. Good. 1, 2, open and lift. Good. 3 more sets. Open and lift. Inhale and exhale. Last set. 1 and 2. Lift it up. Amazing work. Okay. From here, we're going to get into position for some bridge work. So we're going to come down onto the mat, position the heels so they're below the knees. We're going to take our arms overhead, palms facing up toward the ceiling. Spine is in neutral here. You've got that little bit of space between your low back and the mat. We're going to tuck the tailbone here, flattening the lower back into the mat. Lift those hips, keeping the tailbone tucked as we bring the arms down by the sides. Good. Inhale, lower the hips. Exhale, tuck the tailbone and lift. Inhale, arms come back. Exhale, push up through those heels and tighten the core as you do so. Good. I'd like you to really activate your back body as you come up, gently squeezing your glutes and thighs, keeping those legs parallel. Good. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Squeezing those glutes, engaging those thighs, and activating the core, creating a nice flat surface from the breastbone down through those knees as you lift up, never overarching the low back. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. For 5, stretch the spine as you bring the arms back. 4, press up with energy. For 3, good. And 2, and final 1, lift up. We can keep our arms down by our sides, or for more of a challenge, you can lift them over your shoulders. You can keep your feet flat on the floor, or for more of a challenge, you can lift up onto your toes. We're going to pulse here, lowering the hips a couple inches and lifting, maintaining that tucking of the tailbone. Lower, lift, lower, lift. Inhale, exhale. Good work. Tighten that core as you breathe out and lift the hips. Holding for 10, 9, you're doing so well. Stick with it. 7, 6, if your arms are long, nice and activated as well. 2, and 1, lower down. Bring your knees in towards your chest and hug them in, stretching your lower back for 3, and 2, and 1. Nicely done. Roll yourself up to a seated position, and we're going to move down onto the mat. You can be in an all-fours position here. I'm going to come down onto my forearms though. Give my wrists a little bit of a rest. I'm going to interlace my fingers, but if that's uncomfortable for you, you can have your forearms parallel. We want our palms or our elbows below our shoulders, depending on which position you're in. We're going to ensure our knees are below our hips. We're going to bend our left knee and then start to lift and lower that left knee. Now, I really want you to make sure that your hips stay square. Both hip bones are pointing down toward the mat here. As you lift that left knee, lift those left toes up toward the ceiling. Good. Now squeeze the left glutes with every lift. Try not to overarch your lower back. Keep your spine in neutral. Keep your core engaged. Let's go 6. Squeeze that left glute. 5, 4, 3, 2, lift up, and 1, squeeze the glute. Good. Now we're going to lower and extend. Lower, just hover the knee above the mat and extend. Good. Lengthen through the neck. Keep those shoulders down away from the ears. Keeping those hips square with the mat. You got this. Let's go 10. Moving slowly and with control. Keeping the glutes activated and the thighs switched on as we extend. For 5 and 4. You're doing so well. 3. Nice control. Lengthen through that neck. 2. Belly switched. Engage. Core switched on. And final 1. Good. We're going to hold it there. Lengthen through the toes. Lengthen through the spine. Switch your core on and pulse. Little controlled pulses here. Good. Working those thighs and glutes. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Take the knees wide and push back into child's pose, stretching and lengthening through the spine, taking a bit of a breather before we come up and switch sides. Great work on that side. Coming down onto those forearms or onto those palms, positioning the knees so that they're below the shoulders, legs are hip distance apart. Bend that right knee, lift, squeeze the right glutes, and lower, just hover the knee. Lift and squeeze and lower. So I really want you to focus your mind and your attention on those right glutes now, squeezing at the top of every lift, activating that gluteus maximus. Good. Try not to lean over to your supporting side. Keep yourself really balanced across those hips and shoulders. Let's go. 6, 5, squeeze those glutes. For 4, 3, 2, and final 1. Nicely done. Lower down and move into that bend, extend. Bend, extend. Really focus on switching on all the muscles in the leg. As you extend out long, you're pointing hard through the toes so that you're even feeling it in the calf. Good. Abs are engaged. Let's go. 7, 6. Work those glutes and thighs. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Last 2. And final 1. Hold on the extension, lengthen through the neck, engage the core, relax the shoulders, and pulse. Little controlled pulses. Keep those toes really pointed. Lengthen and lift the leg a little higher. Keep pulsing. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Lower knee down. Take the knees wide. Keep the hips elevated. And walk the hands out, bringing forehead to the mat, coming into puppy pose. Let's stretch out for a moment here, stretching the shoulders, lengthening through the spine and opening up in those hips for 3 and 2 and 1. So good. Okay, now we're moving into our ab work. So we're going to come down onto the mat, getting nice and comfortable. Knees are bent, shoulders are relaxed, neck is long. We're going to interlace our fingers and take them behind our head. Head rests heavy in the hands, elbows stay wide. Now I'd like you to bring the soles or the inside of your feet together and then just let the knees fall out to the sides. So you're sort of in a butterfly or a diamond shape. We're going to inhale here, and as we exhale, we're going to peel up into a crunch. Inhale to lower, exhale to peel up, resting head on top of the shoulders, and lower. Good. Inhale and exhale. Breathe out to lift and really focus on drawing your navel in toward your spine. Flattening that lower back on the mat as you come up. Now, if you'd like to extend the level of challenge as you come up, you're going to tap your knees, bring your hands behind your head and lower. Lift, tap, and lower. I'm not actually tapping my knees, I'm tapping my thighs. I can't quite reach my knees. Good. Tapping the legs and lowering. Again, if that's hurting your neck or it's too challenging, just stick with those crunches, leaving your hands behind your head to support head, neck, and shoulders. Good. And lower. And lower. So again, we're not rushing these movements. We're keeping them slow and controlled. We're really focusing on maintaining that core engagement through the entire range of exhale. Core stays engaged, and then we relax to lower down for 3. Good work. And 2. Lift a little higher. And last 1. And bring it down. Now we're going to go into a double crunch. So we're going to work our entire abs, upper, lower, and center abs by drawing the knees and elbows together and then lowering the feet down to the floor, keeping the knees wide, keeping the elbows wide. So we lift, tap, and we lower. Now as we lift, we're scooping the belly in. So we're inhaling to lower, exhaling to lift. Really challenge yourself by drawing that abdominal wall down toward your spine. Good. The more you lift your tailbone up off the mat, so the more lift in your bum that you get, the more you're going to feel this into your lower abs as well. Good. Imagine a piece of string drawing your belly button down towards your spine every time you connect those knees and elbows. Good. We've got 5. I know these are tough, but so effective for working your core. 4, 3, lift up a little higher. For 2. And on our final one, we're going to come up and hold for 5. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Nicely done. Okay, from here, we're going to get into some more ab work. You can have your hands on either side of your tailbone to support your lower back, like so, or you can have your hands by your side to support your torso, or you can take your hands behind your head and lift up into a crunch. So a few options there. We're going to bring the knees in toward the chest. Legs are squeezing together. Then we're going to widen the knees so just the inside of the feet are together. We're inhaling here, and then we're going to exhale to extend the legs, squeezing them together. Inhale, we widen the knees. Exhale, we extend, frog leg extensions. Good, so widen the knees, squeeze them together and lengthen. Inhale and exhale. Again, you can leave your head, neck, and shoulders down on the mat, or you can hold in a crunch. Another option is to lower head, neck, and shoulders and then lift as you extend the legs. Inhale and exhale. Really focusing on that core engagement as you extend those legs, pointing through the toes. Thighs are switched on here as well. Inhaling and exhaling. Widening and extending. Let's go 4. 3. If you want more of a challenge, come out even lower on those extensions for 2. And final 1. Nicely done. Okay, now we're going to go and finish off with some oblique work. So you have an option here. The harder option is you've got both legs extended, and then as you bend the right knee, you're crossing over with left elbow. If that's too much, you can drop that left foot down to the floor and move like so. So pick your level of challenge. I'm going to have both legs extended. Let's go 10, 9, crossing over, 8, working into those obliques, 7, 6, great work, 5, defining those abdominals, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great work. Switching sides. Either right foot comes down to the mat or you extend for 10, 9, final push, 8, 7, working that waistline for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, that was tough. Lower your feet down to the floor and roll over onto your stomach. We're going to stretch out the abdominals. Good. Stretching out those abdominals. Either staying down on your forearms or coming up onto those palms. Good. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. For 3 and 2 and 1. Lower down. Push yourself up. Hold in a plank and then fold your right leg under your body, coming into a pigeon pose stretch to stretch out those glutes and hips. Good. Pressing up away from the mat through those fingertips, lengthening through the spine. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth as we cool down the body. Let's switch sides, coming into plank, folding left leg under the body. Good, relaxing those shoulders, focusing on that breathing pattern. So good to cool down after a hard workout. You've done amazingly well today. It was definitely a challenging routine. Bring the soles of your feet together and just stretch out those inner thighs, hinging forward from the hip. Breathing deeply, letting those knees splay out to the sides for 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can cross your legs, sitting up nice and tall, lifting the shoulders up and rolling them down and back for 4 and 3. Last 2 and final 1. Set those shoulders down and back. Amazing posture. Thank you so much for working out with me this morning. I really enjoyed moving with you. I hope you feel great and feel really well accomplished and enjoy the rest of your day. I look forward to working out with you again soon. Bye, guys.